you get tested by these people, but you don't get tested by these people. Like, I think it just needs to be clear and concise. And then
hook.
Yeah.
No, not a nice guy.
Yeah, nice, good, bad guy.
Or anything illegal. And to me, it's just wrong. It stinks. The whole thing stinks. So, you know, everybody's got an opinion on it, and that's my opinion.
Do you think you'll come back from this?
Don't see how he...
Joseph Parker just fired back at Fabio Wardley after being accused of using performance-enhancing drugs, and the boxing world has erupted in controversy. What began as another pre-fight verbal exchange has exploded into something much bigger, a debate about honesty, transparency, and respect with
answers here. What's gone on? Like, what's happened? I know that there has to be a level of privacy with these things, but with boxing and us, like, as boxers and stuff, we rely on the fans and the fan base and everyone else to like pump up our fights and big up our names and stuff. But then when it comes to something else, maybe we don't want
in the sport. Parker's response was raw and emotional. He didn't hold back. If fans build fighters up, he said, they deserve honesty in return. It wasn't a line rehearsed for the cameras. It was frustration spilling out in real time.
You need to not get distracted, not get dissuaded from anything. Just stay on target, stay on focus. I have the athleticism, I have the speed, I have the power. I've got it in my tank to go through the rounds if you want to go. So there's none of those things are a factor or a problem for me. I just need to stay on job and stay focused.
Parker has always been one of boxing's quiet men, the type who lets his fists speak. But this time, the former world champion is no longer staying silent. He's calling for fairness and clarity in a
win. Please, you must every time like take focus with ring. Yeah, because make you отпускаешь.
Sport that too often thrives on gossip and speculation. What's really going on behind the scenes? That's the question every fan, journalist, and fighter is now asking. The situation escalated when Fabio Wardley accused Parker of being a drug cheat. It was a line that instantly spread across social media.
So getting down to that weight is a big issue. And that can determine how this fight falls. Or Chris could say, I can't do the weight, man.
Creating a storm of reactions and headlines. Yet Parker refused to sink to that level. He took a different route, firm but measured. There has to be a level of privacy with these things, Parker said, trying to stay composed. But we rely on the fans. The fans build our names, our fights.
I think it's been a natural progression because when as Joe's improved, his confidence has grown. And yeah, he wants to be more aggressive. He doesn't want to have to run and back up from anybody. He wants to be the big puncher. He wants, as I said to him,
our careers. If they're the ones who make us, then we owe them the truth. That line hit hard. Parker wasn't just defending himself. He was taking a stand for something deeper. Transparency in boxing. Meanwhile, Fabio Wardley isn't engaging with the noise. He's not throwing insults or feeding the controversy. Instead, he's sending a message.
And would it have been released in the public if he'd have had a not guilty result? Do you know what I mean? So would you have even known about it, anyone? So you don't know, but you know, I've got no idea at all. It just seems like the rules are just all over the place, really. Maybe that's something that should be looked into.
Message of composure. Wardley insists he's focused, confident, and ready to prove everything inside the ring. No mind games, no excuses, just business. His body language says it all. He believes his athleticism and power will silence every doubt. Just when the drama couldn't get any hotter, Oleg...
You know and I know, he's become a bit of a predator. And he waits and he pushes and he pushes and then he waits and then he springs and sets his trap and then bang, he gets...
Alexander Usyk stepped into the conversation, mocking Parker with sarcasm over the same accusations. It wasn't a full-blown attack, but it added fuel to an already raging fire. Now, Parker isn't just facing criticism from Wardley, but from one of the sport's biggest names. The heavyweight champion's comments turned what was a heated rivalry into a full-blown boxing headline. Suddenly, Parker found himself under a microscope, his name dragged through the mud by rivals and skeptics alike. Among the chaos, former champion and respected pundit Johnny Nelson has been the voice of calm. His message is simple. If the British Boxing Board of Control has cleared Parker, then the noise...
Try to implement ways of beating him. Punches that will work, combinations that will work, movements that will work. And then you focus on improving your fighter as well, making him the best he can be. And as long as, as long as Joe is firing on all cylinders, I think he'll have enough to beat Wardley, even though, like you said, Dane
needs to stop. Nelson believes this kind of controversy damages the sport more than it helps it. There's no conspiracy, he insists, no hidden agenda. If the authorities have done their checks and the tests came back clean, then the fighter deserves to step into the ring without a shadow of doubt over his name. That's the heart of the issue. Trust. If fans can't trust the system, what's left of boxing's credibility? Parker's trainer Andy Lee adds a new layer to the story. According to Lee, Joseph isn't just boxing to survive anymore. He's boxing to make a statement. His confidence is peaking, his aggression is rising, and his focus has shifted from being careful to being dominant. But that evolution carries risk. Against a...
You heard it from the horse's mouth. It's going to be a shooter. As soon as that bell goes in the first round, they can get down on it. They're going to be throwing bombs, and somebody will go. It's going to be a great fight.
Dangerous puncher like Fabio Wardley, one mistake can change everything. Wardley, as Duke McKenzie points out, isn't reckless. He's calculated. He stalks, sets traps, and then explodes with brutal timing, McKenzie says. That predator-like instinct makes Wardley a nightmare for anyone who dares to exchange too soon. Lee acknowledges that danger, but remains confident. Our focus isn't just on stopping Fabio, he says. It's on making Joseph the sharpest version of himself. If Parker stays disciplined, he controls the fight from start to finish. Wardley may be explosive, but Parker's advantage lies in experience.
We need more detail, and this is breaking news, so I know as much as you do. I don't know what's in that circle of trust, so let's just see how this goes.
He's been in the ring with Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, and Deontay Wilder. He's walked through fire and learned from it. This isn't like fighting Fraser Clark or David Adelaide. Wardley has never faced this kind of ring IQ before. Trainer Tony Sims offered another crucial perspective, one that hit at the sport's inconsistent rules. If Parker was proven innocent, we might never have even heard about it, Sims said. That statement raises serious questions about transparency and fairness. Why do negative rumors spread like wildfire, but official clearances barely make headlines? The boxing world often feels selective.
He looks happy, he looks fit, he looks sharp, he looks fast, and the truth is we're going to get the very best
with information. Leaks, whispers, and half-truths dominate narratives, and once a story catches fire, it's almost impossible to put out. That's the atmosphere Fabio Wardley's accusation helped create. Promoter Frank Warren didn't mince words. He expects this fight to be violent, fast, and emotional. This won't be a slow-paced strategy match, Warren said. From the opening bell, they're going to trade. Parker's more experienced and technically polished, but Fabio thrives in chaos. Warren believes this fight will come down to who handles those explosive moments better. One mistake, he warns, one defensive lapse, and this fight could be over in seconds. It's not just skill versus power anymore. It's survival versus pride, legacy versus hunger, experience.
He's given me motivation to train every day because he's here as well. So a training partner is a vital thing for me. Without a training partner, things become difficult. You know how hard I like to train? So to come in here and train on my own like that, I can, and I do. But it's easier if Joe's here, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, friendship and the brotherhood and the training partner is probably the most important things anyone can ever have. And I feel like I can trust Joe with anything, to be fair.
Versus raw ambition. Tyson Fury, who's trained and sparred alongside Joseph Parker, has made his opinion loud and clear. He's seen Parker's hunger and intensity in camp, and he's convinced Wardley has no chance. "Parker's sharp, focused, and hungry again," Fury said. "He's got structure, motivation, and elite training around him. Wardley's a good lad, but this is a different level." Fury's confidence carries weight, but even he knows heavyweight boxing can flip in an instant. Fabio Wardley isn't here to play it safe. He's coming to destroy. He might not have Parker's resume, but he's got something equally dangerous: belief. Carl Froch, never one to sugarcoat, reminds fans that experience still matters. Fabio Wardley's rise has been impressive.
Good fight, isn't it?
It is a good fight.
Parker Wardley, I'm actually looking forward to that. I think Parker does it with the experience and the skills and that.
I think he overcomes, but I think it's too big of a
Wardley punches hard. Wardley punches hard enough to make it a fight and then drag him into something and make it like.
He said, but there's a huge difference between potential and pedigree. Froch points out that Parker has shared the ring with killers: Joshua, White, Wilder. He's fought under the brightest lights and survived the toughest nights.
Disappointed and annoyed, but he's someone I've really sung his praises about how much he's improved over the last number of years. Yeah, but you know, now you're asking, has he improved so quickly? You know what I mean?
If Parker fights like he did against Wilder, calm, clinical, and relentless, then Wardley could be in for a long night. But Froch also respects Wardley's mindset. "He doesn't care about resumes or titles," Froch said. "He just wants to take heads. That's dangerous." Carl Frampton, on the other hand, voiced what many doubters are thinking. How did Parker improve so fast? And that's where the whispers of steroids started. But Frampton also admits that rapid improvement doesn't automatically mean cheating. It can also mean discipline, confidence, and belief. Parker has a new trainer, new purpose, and a new hunger to prove himself. Adam Catterall made a casual comment about Parker popping for something, and that single line turned into a wildfire. That's how rumors work in boxing. They don't need evidence. They just need a microphone. There's been no failed test, no suspension, no proof. The UK
up and get paid. Correct. This should not be their decision. The British Boxing Board of Control should be standing up and taking the voluntary anti-doping test seriously. Absolutely. Yes, I know that you work with the UK anti-doping. I know that, but this is a test. He's popped hot. Let's look into it properly. What happens if something happens on Saturday night?
Absolutely.
What if we've already got a
KAD tests came back negative. The British Boxing Board approved the fight. Yet one throwaway comment became a headline that painted Parker as guilty until proven innocent. That's the darker side of boxing journalism. Controversy sells faster than truth. Safety in boxing is essential, but using that as an excuse to accuse a clean fighter of cheating crosses the line. Parker isn't being punished for a failed test. He's being punished for improving. Instead of credit, he gets suspicion. Instead of praise, he gets dragged through the mud. This fight isn't just another main event, it's a crossroads moment for both men. For Parker, a victory means redemption. It clears his name, silences the whispers, and puts him right back in the world title picture. Beat Fabio Wardley, and he earns another shot at the elite. Maybe Alexander Usyk, maybe Anthony Joshua. For Fabio Wardley, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. A win against a former world champion like Parker catapults him from British prospect to global contender. No amateur background, no big promotional push, just raw power and self-belief. If he pulls it off, he becomes one of the most talked about heavyweights in the world overnight. The psychological battle is enormous. Parker is calm, composed, and used to pressure. Wardley is fearless, hungry, and desperate to prove he belongs among the best. Who handles the moment better? That's what this fight comes down to. Does Parker use his experience to stay disciplined and break Wardley down methodically? Or does Wardley drag Parker into a firefight where one clean shot can end everything? Johnny Nelson summed it up perfectly. "Even insiders don't know the full truth yet," he said. "Everything around Parker and Wardley, the accusations, the pressure, the noise, It's all unfolding in real time. But Nelson's bigger point was about composure. Neither man is panicking. Parker isn't lashing out. Wardley isn't backing down. Both are standing tall in the storm. Soon, all the talking will stop. The cameras, the accusations, the debates, they'll all fade when the bell rings. If Parker's clean, sharp, and mentally locked in, he can silence every critic with one dominant performance. But if Wardley capitalizes on the chaos, he could walk in with a psychological edge that changes everything. This isn't just about punches. It's about pride, perception, and proof. So now the question is yours. Is Joseph Parker about to remind the world why he's still elite? Or will Fabio Wardley shock the world and prove that power, hunger, and self-belief can conquer experience? Drop your predictions below, because one thing's for certain, when that bell rings, only the truth will survive.